The second candidate that's with us tonight is Ms. Nadine McCool.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to be here. We find that Judge Dawn Amaker's decision to immediately transfer custody of the child.
Ms. McCool, can I
Yes.
cut you off for a moment?
Please don't.
We strictly want to go an introduction of yourself. It's not a
This is-
forum or a debate on the other candidate.
This is the reason why I'm running, and this is the reason why we need a change in family court. And I would appreciate the opportunity in this public forum to speak freely. It's important.
We'd like to learn more about you as the
It's-
candidate and you individually and not your opponent.
This is about me.
It needs to be kept to you, and I would appreciate, though, if you would also not mention your opponent by name or also cite things that maybe she did or did not do in your opinion. Because
Mr.
this is an
Danielson,
introduction about you.
With all due respect, this is an election for a family court. This is not a hobby. It's not a pastime. It's not something I'm doing on a whim. I am a homebody. I would prefer to be at home in the evenings. I have dedicated the last 14 years of my life to practicing family law. I would not be here. I would not be running this election if it wasn't incredibly important. And this is why it's important.
Well, please tell us about you and why people might want to vote for you.
If you allow me to make my public comments in this public forum, I would greatly appreciate it.
As long as you don't mention your opponent by name or I'll have to stop.
Are you saying that this isn't a public forum where I'm free to speak,
Ms.
exercise
McCool?
my First Amendment right to speak freely?
As we've discussed in the past, and I've discussed with your husband, and we discussed earlier tonight, this is an introduction on you as the candidate,
This is
not a debate or
public
forum.
Forum.
This
and
is a
I have
Mandeville
First
City
Amendment
Council
ri-
meeting.
A public forum.
And an introduction, the rules are very clear
A
and we're
public
very consistent.
Forum. I am reading nothing
Okay.
except the public
Well,
record.
Ms. McCool, I'm going to have to stop you there. If you can introduce yourself to this council and
This
discuss.
is my introduction.
Well, if you mention Judge Amaker by name again, I will cut you off.
We find that the trial court's decision to immediately transfer custody of the child to the father from whom she was estranged and immediately prohibit any contact between the child and her mother's family without letting her mother even tell her goodbye was an abuse of discretion that was not in the best interest of the child. TD versus FXA, Louisiana First Circuit, that was January 9th of 2014 this year. In another case, in this
Ms.
custody
McCool,
case,
I'm going to have
I
to
haven't
stop you.
mentioned my opponent's
No,
name.
I'm going to have to stop you. This has nothing to do with you as the
This
candidate.
is everything about me and as the candidate. If you would just let me finish.
I've not heard anything about you or your qualifications, and that's what this is
Mr.
about.
Danielson, I understand that you run this forum, but this is a public forum, and I'm not just speaking to
You
you.
have
I am
debates
speaking
and-
to the public.
Okay, well,
And
I tell you
have a
what,
First Amendment right to
unless
speak to
the,
public.
my
Not-
colleagues want to hear more of this, I'm going to stop it now. Because this is not about you as the candidate. And that was the ground rules that we have done for every race in the last 2.5 years for anybody that's come before this body.
Mr. Danielson,
You have
you asked
plenty
me
of
to be
debates.
nice, and
Okay.
I'm being nice by speaking the truth.
I have not heard you say one thing about your qualifications.
This is about me. This
No,
is
you're
why
talking
I'm
about
running.
case law, and you're talking about what somebody else did or didn't do.
This is about
wanna
why
hear
I'm
about
running.
you.
This is about me and why I'm running.
So tell
why
us about
else would I
your
run?
qualifications.
My qualifications are that I absolutely do not understand how we as citizens would allow this to go on in our courtrooms, where there's law that is not being followed, where due process is not being afforded, where we can sever a mother from a child like this, and based on no law that would allow that to happen, no evidence that the mother presents a danger to that child, nothing other than Judge Amaker.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there, okay? Your time is up, and we've set the ground. We do this again as a courtesy to candidates, okay? And when that courtesy is not afforded then back to us, then it defeats the purpose of this process. This is not a debate. It is not a forum.
No, it's a public
Well,
forum.
but I'm going
Is
to
it not a
stop you
public
there,
forum?
and we're going to move forward.
This
You've
is a
got plenty of
public
opportunity.
forum.
This is not a debate.
I'm not
Okay, I'm
debating.
gonna
You're
stop you there.
debating.
All right,
This is a public forum, and just for the record, I have a First Amendment right to speak freely.
Yes, you do.
And you
But
have
made the ground rules very clear.
you have prevented me.
No, I have not.
You don't have the right
Ms.
to tell me
McCool.
what I can say, how I can exercise my First Amendment right.
I'm going to have to stop you there.
You do not have the right, Mr. Danielson, to tell me to shut up.
And the 3 minutes is up. all right?
For the record, I came here to
We
exercise my
set-
First Amendment right, and you have prevented me from doing it.
I'd be very careful on how you say that, because nobody prevented you from your First Amendment rights. I run this meeting
How
as the
more
mayor pro
careful should I
tem.
be?
We set the ground rules. The ground rules are the same for you as they have been for every other candidate that has come before this body. 3 minutes and an introduction on yourself. You've not done that, so I'm going to stop it now, and I'm going to move forward with our agenda. We certainly thank you for being here and wish you the best of luck in this race.
Thank
So
you.
thank you very much. But more importantly for everybody is Election Day is November the 4th. Early voting is October the 21st through the 28th. Please get out and vote. It is a very